So
Good for you.
we'll go ahead and get started. This is Sue Poss, your Rotary Public Image Coordinator for Zone 33 speaking. And I'm going to try not to talk too much because I want to give everybody on the call a chance to update us on what's going on in your districts, how we can help you, the challenges that you're facing, the successes that you've had, and that kind of thing. Before I go any further, I want to tell you that our director, Robert Hall, has joined us on the call. So, Robert, would you like to say anything to these district chairs right off the bat?
Well, I just thank you for participating. And I had a conference call this morning or yesterday that we have this program called Rotary Has Heart that's going to be from January through March. And there's going to be information coming in 33 from Charles Allen to all of you to do a community service project in each club in your districts, and we want to make sure the district governors get to the public image coordinators to promote this. And so I hope you'll be getting information on that from your district governor, which we will announce it to them. But I think it's exciting to let people know we do something good in their community, and we do something good. And so that's what you guys, I think, are trying to help do. And I appreciate all of that because through your efforts, you help our membership and our foundation efforts. So I look forward to being on this call tonight. Thank you, Sue.
Okay, thank you, Robert. And we do have Rotary Has Heart on our agenda for
Good.
discussion tonight.
Sue, I'm here.
Who is that, Cap?
Yeah.
Okay. Cap, you were going to talk about Rotary Has Heart or lead us through a discussion on that and how we can best do it. So since Robert has just mentioned that, why don't you go ahead and do that, and then we'll back up and come to other things on the agenda. Are you ready to do that, Cap?
I'm ready, I guess.
Okay.
Stole all my thunder, but no. Well, one of the things that, and I guess it's getting the word out, and we have a real unique opportunity, I think, and right at the top of my list, we're all about to go into pets. We're going into pre-pets, and we're going into pets, and that's a great place, I think, to start spreading the word and getting people involved, and Rotary Has Heart. You've got the makers and shakers coming in as either presenters or receivers, and there's lots of opportunities to do that. Hopefully, it'll be on some agendas for the pets or pre-pets coming up. And I'm not sure who all's online with us, but some of the things I thought about we could do and probably would help us do it better. One of the things I thought we could do is perhaps get a business partner to join us, a food or a department. I know we did a bank drive down here in our district. A local food store helped us, and they probably donated as much. Department stores, if you're doing food, if you're doing food drives, they can certainly participate. You might even get an automobile dealership to be a drop-off point for your stuff. But if you can get them to spend some of their advertising dollars to help spread the word, and certainly if the biggest advertiser at the TV station is participating with you, they're much more likely to cover the event than they would be otherwise. So I think there's plenty of opportunity. We can spread the word, our pets and dits, and I think there's no limit on what we can do. So with that little introduction, hopefully some other people have some ideas or can tell us what they're doing in their area and get the discussion rolling.
Okay, and I failed to introduce Cap. That was Cap Nilsson, one of our assistant Rotary Public Image coordinators. Our job as the PI team is to support those in our district who are and clubs who are actually organizing our Rotary Has Heart projects and help get the word out about what Rotary is doing, bring awareness to Rotary. So is there anyone else on the call who has some ideas or already have their plans in place for promoting Rotary Has Heart?
Actually, this is
Okay, I heard Lorraine. Lorraine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Our district is, we put something in the newsletter. We've talked with Harvest Hope, and then in the Greenwood area, we're making bags that have food for the kids in them, and we're going to distribute probably about 500 of those. There's some people that are doing the backpacks, and then Rock Hill is doing something, but they're not sure exactly what yet.
Okay. Who else has some strong public image plans in place for Rotary?
This is David Keith from District 7680. And to be honest, I have not heard about the program, so I'm a little unclear exactly what it is.
This is okay. Go ahead. Who was going to speak? Cap?
I defer to you. Go ahead.
Rotary Has Heart is a program that was begun last year by Director Ann Matthews for club. She was asking clubs to do a project around Valentine's Day to feed hungry children. And this year, Director Robert has continued that program, but he's giving the clubs more freedom to decide what kind of project they want to do. But the goal is to do a project, but also to get a lot of good public image from the project, because all of the clubs in our two zones are working on the same day or around the same day to accomplish something in their local community. So that, in a nutshell, is Rotary Has Heart.
Okay.
And one of the things that this is Cap again. One of the things that occurred to me is that certainly a lot of us are already doing projects that we're not getting recognition for. We're not getting the type of widespread ability to show others what Rotary does. And even if we take one of those projects and buff it up and shine it up and use it as our Rotary Has Heart project, I think we can be very beneficial with it. But as Sue points out, the big thing is to let people know what we're doing, which is, you know, we miss that boat sometimes.
Right. Okay, well, we might come back to Rotary Has Heart in a minute, but for now, let's back up on our agenda and talk about the Zone 33 training seminar in Raleigh, because I want to make sure that all of you have that on your calendars. The seminar this year will be May 29th and 30th at the Embassy Suites in the Triangle area of Raleigh, specifically in Cary, actually. We'll start around noon on Friday and conclude about 2 o'clock on Saturday. It's basically the same schedule that we had last year. We will probably start with lunch and a speaker, followed by a series of breakout sessions, followed by a dinner with a speaker, and then do a series of breakouts on Saturday morning, concluding with a lunchtime speaker. What I need from you are suggestions on specific breakout topics that we can offer for public image. Last year, we sort of tried to put it together, my assistants and myself tried to put together the agenda, or we did put it together without much input. This year, we would really like to get your input on what kinds of topics you would want us to offer, the things that you need. So first off, I'd like to get some feedback on who thinks they're going to be able to attend.
I can attend. David Keith, District 7680.
Okay. I know some of you may not know whether you will or not at this point.
I'm going to be there.
Wait a minute. Let's speak one at a time. All right. Lorraine, you said you were going to be there?
Yes.
Okay.
And this is Betsy, and I think that would probably be a good thing for the new public image chair to come to, rather than Mike Shaw and I, because we're retiring.
It
So,
certainly would be beneficial. Have you identified that person yet? Not you, but
not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. This is one of the challenges that we have, is getting our public image chairs at this event, since this is only about the third year that we've offered training for district chairs. So it's taking us a little while to get going on that. So I hope, if you possibly can, that you will put that on your agenda. And in the meantime, be thinking about topics that you would like us to cover at that event. Registration. Go ahead.
Excuse me. This is Betsy again. I don't know how this would apply to the public relations chairs, but at one of the District 7690 training events this fall, we had a breakout seminar workshop that was run by two of our younger members on using and how to use Facebook and Twitter. I mean, actually press this button type thing, and it was wildly successful.
Do you mean a very basic?
Well, it started out basic, but it could expand to fit the capabilities of the people in the group. And it ended with the people that were in the group tweeting out their pictures, and posting things on Facebook. And so I think it was helpful for the club PR people to get that direct hands-on training.
Okay. Anybody else have suggestions right now for us?
Sue, this is Brad. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm planning on attending that. I don't think Lindsay is, but I plan on being there.
Okay. Well, good. We're getting a good start then on people who are going to be able to attend, because I want some of you to help lead the workshop so that it's not left up to the same four who did it last year, so we get some new energy in the rooms.
Sue, this is Lindsay. What were past topics?
We did a session on social media specifically. We did something on how district chairs can help clubs develop a public image plan. We had a session showing successes that districts had over the past year or so. And Cap, what was the session that you did, making your club visible?
Yeah, how to make your club newsworthy.
Newsworthy.
Yeah.
So those were the 4 topics we did last year, and we repeated them. We did them once on Friday and once on Saturday, so there were 2 opportunities for people to attend.
This is David Keith again with District 7680. I attended last year's zone meeting because it was my first year coming in as CI coordinator for our district, and I'm going to be doing it again next year. So I guess it's obviously worth my while to come again. But one thing that I remember last year that was very, very good, I liked the way that Sue had described the Rotary.org and the brand center, that just to get out the word about the new brand and how the new Rotary trademark of excellence needs to be with Rotary, but also to go to Brand Central and to, instead of reinventing the wheel, Sue was saying that she had created stuff and actually she had slides of it, of stuff that she got from the Rotary website at Brand Central. And that's what I did this year. I went ahead and I created a membership ad, but instead of trying to find my own artwork, I literally went to the Brand Center and I downloaded the photos that you can download videos, you can download press releases, you can download high-quality photographs that are ready to go to print, and that's what we did. And I'm more fortunate because we have a graphics company, and I have designers that helped me. But we created an ad, and it was a membership ad, and I also added the other tagline that I really liked that Rotary was really pushing. It's called, one of the things they're going for is join leader. And I thought that's just a wonderful explanation of what Rotary is leaders. So I created a joint ad for membership and join leaders, and it was very well received. It got published in our local papers in the Charlotte region, and I also forwarded it to some of the other PR directors in our district and encouraged them to take that ad and use it either generic for Rotary or club specific, and mentioning this particular club meets at 12 noon on Wednesdays at this particular location. For more information, visit, your club's website, or you could do Rotary.org. And it was very well received, and it was very easy to do. And I think we should hit that again at this year's zone conference, because it was very easy to do. And I would be also very happy to share that ad with anybody. If you guys would, if you had my email address, I'm sure Sue's got it. I'd be happy to send it out to your respective districts.
If you want to send that to me, David, I can send it out to the whole group so everyone will have it.
Sure.
David, could you also speak to the benefit of having the public image teams there with the foundation teams and the membership teams, and having the opportunity to interact with everyone involved in those tasks?
Could you clarify that a little bit more?
Well, it wasn't just public image people there. There were foundation people and membership people. How did that help you?
No, it was excellent, because you're being put with leaders from the different areas. If they're taking the time to come to the conference, to take that time out to travel. Some people have to travel some distances. It's well worth it. And the whole thing with promotions, there's all different things we can be doing. It's not only for membership. Exactly, it's promoting, End Polio Now, or promoting the Rotary Foundation, and all of those advertisements. A lot of that stuff is specific for that part of Rotary that you can get on Brand Central at Rotary.org. Mm-hmm. The big thing is just trying to get more people to understand what Rotary is, because even with the new brand, I love the fact that it says Rotary next to the wheel, because there's a lot of people, you wear your Rotary pin around and they don't understand what it is, many people. But if you have the Rotary pin and Rotary, now it's really getting a whole new branding of our brand out there, much more recognizable, and people are putting things together. I like it.
Okay. Robert, are you still on the call? It looks like Robert got cut off. Robert has been talking a lot about how public image and the Rotary Foundation and membership all work together, so that's what we hope to accomplish at our training seminar in Raleigh. All right, let's move on. Brenda Shaw, are you on the phone yet? Okay, we'll save Brenda's presentation. She's at some kind of a conference and was going to have to call in as she was able. Chris Jones is the Assistant Rotary Public Image Coordinator from the Charlotte area. He's going to talk about Rotary Awareness and World Understanding Month.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's great to be here on the event with you. And I have a number of suggestions that we should try and promote and implement during the month of January. First and foremost, and I think one of the most important things that we all need to be doing, is to be wearing our Rotary pins, and to encourage all of our Rotarians to wear their Rotary pins, not only on Rotary Day, the day of their club meeting, but also out in the public. One of the things that I often do when I find people out and about, maybe in the grocery store or just somewhere in the community, if I see them wearing their Rotary pin, I will give them 100 Paul Harris Fellow points of mine, which just reinforces and encourages those folks to continue to wear their pin. So this is a great month to promote that with Rotary Awareness Month. Social media is another, absolute that we need to be doing during Awareness Month. If you go to Facebook or you go to Twitter and you just type in the term Rotary Awareness Month, you'll see what a number of clubs and a number of people are doing to support Awareness Month. There's one gentleman down in Florida that's actually made a sign, and he's out walking around and flipping it and having a good time with the sign. And that leads me to making sure that we're doing some things to get some signage out into the communities, making ourselves much more visible than normal. Maybe wearing a lot more of our Rotary apparel as we're out in the community. Maybe we're on a Rotary project, maybe we're not. Keep in mind that Gary Wong, our RI president, has asked us all to do a Rotary Day, and this is a great month if you have plans for a Rotary Day to get it out there. Another idea is to plan some vocational visits for your club meetings. So, and I know it's a little late in the game to be talking about that and planning them, but if you have a way to take your club meetings out to some of the vocational areas in your community to make Rotary more visible, that's a good thing to do. And then there are two very successful social media events that are happening. One is the World's Greatest Meal, and that's all about polio support, and you can get there by going to www.wgmeal.com. And there's a lot of activity happening around that. They're shooting for, by the end of this Rotary year, to have achieved $5 million in gifts towards the towards polio. And then, of course, next month is the swim marathon, which happens every year on Rotary's birthday, all again to bring awareness to Rotary. So there's 8 different ideas that you can implement or put out there for Rotary Awareness Month. Sue, you also wanted me to talk about the 110th birthday, February 23rd? Okay, so February 23rd is coming, and it is Rotary's 110th birthday, and we need to make sure that we're gearing up and putting some plans together to get ready to publicize that. Rotary's done tremendous works in the world and making the world a better place and saving our children and doing so many great things. And we'll have a celebration of 110 years of doing that February 23rd. And then the last thing on the agenda for me to talk about tonight is World Understanding and Peace Month in February. And that really gets us geared up and starting towards the Peace Symposium that Zone 33 is having in April in Raleigh. So there's a lot on our agenda for this time of year, a lot to get ready for, but there's a lot of activities that we can do to support all of that. And as Sue said earlier, and she was asking David Keith to kind of expand on this, our role as public image coordinators is really to go out there and help support all of the efforts that we're doing in terms of growing membership and growing foundation support. And these are all the things that we can do to get that done. Does anybody have any questions or any comments they'd like to add?
I'd like to hear from anybody else on the call who already has some plans, either for Rotary Awareness or World Understanding Month, anything that you plan to do in the area of public image. Lorraine or Brad, could you talk about what the public image effort's going to be around the John Germ visit relative to the 110th birthday? Lorraine?
I know a little bit about that. They have something in the newsletter we're trying to get people throughout the district to come as well as another district. They've kind of done that on their own, so I'm not familiar with everything we're doing.
So you haven't been involved in that? Okay.
No, I think Rachel from the Rock Hill area has.
Okay. Lorraine, you've got an echo on your line. I don't know what your problem is. Okay. Anybody?
I'm going to the Spartanburg deal. How about everybody? Who's going to the Spartanburg deal?
Yes, it's in Spartanburg.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. John's going to be there, and I think it'll be a big event.
Well, we need to make sure that a big event like that brings some awareness to Rotary and helps people all over our district and up into Chris's area become aware of what Rotary's doing. Robert, I think when you were offline a minute ago, we were talking about our Zone 33 training seminar and the value of having membership, public image, and foundation people there together. Did you hear that discussion, or were you offline?
I was on and off. I don't know how to operate. My phone died, so I went and got my laptop, and I'm on it now.
Well, would you like to take a minute or two to talk about the value of these three teams working together?
I think last year we did this for the first time, and some of you were involved, I know. But when you hear President-elect Ravi and you hear Trustee Chair-elect Ray Klingensmith talk, they say that we all help each other. And it is an absolute truth that the more good we do through our foundation or through community service projects, wherever 750 clubs in District 30, Zone 33, that those things should help our public image. And if they help our public image, it should help our membership. I will congratulate you on the membership that out of 12 zones in North America, Zone 33 is number 3 in growth through December 31. So that's a very positive deal. And I know that your efforts through public image help that. But these all three work together, and I call it a three-legged stool, or you can call it whatever you want to. But I do believe, and you'll hear Ravi, and you'll hear you hear Ray Klingensmith, you'll hear John Jerem talk when he's president next year, that we all help each other, and we're not in silos anymore. We work together, and I think it's for good. So I think I won't be at the training seminar. It was scheduled. I didn't know when it was being scheduled, but I'll be at a board meeting in Sao Paulo, so I'll miss that, and I hate that I'll miss it, but it was scheduled without me being part of that anyway, and I just won't be there. But I will be at the, when is it, April, I think, Sue, the coordinator training that you and Chris, I know, will be at.
Right.
But anyway, I do think that having this thing together in April is good. And let me go back. Sue, I was in mute. I don't know how I got into that deal. I'm really very new to go to meetings, so I'm a novice. But let me just capsulize what I think this Rotary Has Heart is. Could either Wayne or I don't know, Lorraine asked, Brad asked the question. I think it's very simple, and I'm into two things you'll find out. Simple to understand, easy to do. And if it's not one of those two things, you will not do it. If you don't understand it, you won't do it. If it's not easy to do, you won't do it. Rotary Has Heart says this. We're coming off of what Vice President Ann started last year, and that some of the district governors, in fact, in 33, said to me, was originally announced, can we do anything our community needs? I said, sure, in my opinion, sure you can. And you could do ALS, you could do Alzheimer's, you could do Feed the Children, you could do anything your community needs. That's kind of how we do community projects in Sao Paulo or in Costa Rica. We find out what the community needs. So we do those things, and if we do them, I do believe it should help our public image. If it doesn't, we miss the ball. So what Rotary Has Heart's going to do this year, and it'll be coming out to your DGs, and it's supposed to come to you from the DGs. So here's what we want the public image people to be aware of. That from January to March 31, focused around the middle of the period, February 14th, Valentine's Day, we want to show our community Rotary has heart in doing a community service project. It's probably in the 6 areas of focus. If you can do anything that's not in the 6 areas of focus, I'd be completely surprised that everything could fit in those. So you do a project in your community and you help each of your 40 or 50 or 70 clubs in your district know that's what we want to do. But Charles Allen is heading up for 33, and he has a mayor's proclamation already written up. He has a press release to the newspaper already written up. You drop in the project in the community. It's ready to go. And we want every one of our 750 plus clubs in Zone 33 to do something. So when they do something, and I announced at Asheville, I personally purchased one of these George Lewis. If you don't know who George Lewis is, he's the waterman. And I purchased 30 of these prints, 29 actually, well, one for Charlene. So I purchased 30 prints, and he is going to do a print. He's working on them right now, and I want every district governor and public image chair to get together and pick a club that does, in your opinion, the best project that is also publicized. That has to be part of it. You pick one of these, and that club president gets one of these pictures that George Lewis has painted, an oil painting. It's really pretty. And they use it for one, and they get, I'm also giving them 1,000 recognition points. So the club president gets these after March 31 when you and the district governor submit whoever you think is the best club. The president gets the picture, gets 1,000 recognition points. They can give it to a Rotarian, a non-Rotarian. They can use a picture for a fundraiser, anything they want. But I want to get all of our 750 clubs in 33 involved in this. Somebody said the other day, if you haven't done your Rotary Days already, this could be your Rotary Days event. So the idea, like Gary Wong said, our president this year, you do what you want to do, district governor. You do what you want to do, president. And that's what this says to them, too. We are not forcing him. It's not a forced march to do anything. It's what they think their community needs. If they don't want to participate, they don't have to. But I hope they will, and I hope these paintings, well, I think Charlene loves them, and we had, I don't know how many paintings purchased in Asheville. They really are nice, and if you don't know what they look like, just Google George Lewis the Waterman, and you'll see these paintings. But it's very simple. So I ask you the question, this is this first quarter emphasis. Do you have any questions about Rotary Has Heart?
Robert, could you tell us again, how are our district public image chairs going to get information? Charles Allen is going to send it to the district governors, and the district governors will distribute to the public image chairs. Is that correct?
That's how we want to do it, because everybody says, and Chris, you were at DG last year, and everybody says, well, no, don't go on to anybody but the district governor. The district governor runs the district. So we're going to send it to the district governor. Now, I will tell you that we have a district advisory committee, that one person in every district is on this committee, and I'm going to ask every one of them, does your public image coordinator know? Does the president of your 40 clubs, do the 40 presidents know about Rotary Has Heart? And if they say no, and I know the district governors have a lot on their plate, I do want all of them to know. So we're going to try to check through the advisory council and to see if the president and the public image coordinators know. Look, if you're a public image coordinator, you ought to go to your president and say, look, Robert Hall said we can do whatever we want. It's a contest. It's whatever club has the best public image project, not club, community service project, and we want to pick one. And this painting is neat, and you use it for however you want to. So if you're a public image coordinator, don't sit back waiting. Go ahead and ask the district governor.
That was my next question. If they haven't heard from their district governors, by what date, when should they make a call to the governor to inquire?
I'd say a week or two. That it's going to be on the website. It's on the website right now. If you go to the website, and Zone website, you look at events, I think it is, and you click on events, it'll show you Rotary Has Heart 2015. You click on that and it tells you what I just told you. There'll be an announcement coming, and I'm going to send this week a email to the DGs and DGEs reiterating what Rotary Has Heart is. So it's coming to them this week. Next week, the 15th of January, we'll put out the Zone newsletter. It'll be in there. So no later than the 15th of January, everybody ought to know. And you just go to your district governor and you ask them, I see you're bringing up the Zone website. God, that's a good-looking guy. But there's Rotary Has Heart right there.
Okay, there's information. And if you're looking at your computer, you can see the URL for the Zone website in case you don't have that information.
Right. And this one, I think, go to the bottom of this, displaying this. If it doesn't have the pictures, the 4 pictures of the painting, we're going to replace this in the next couple of days with a little bit better one. But
this is all I see right now, Robert.
I hope this adds excitement. That I believe district governors and club presidents say, don't tell me what to do, recognize me and know what I'm doing. And that's what we're trying to do. I'm going to tell the DGEs next Sunday night and Sunday night a week in San Diego that I want them to do what they want to do. But I want to know about it, and I want them to let everybody else know what they're doing so we can share best practices. I'm not doing a forced march deal. I believe certain things are important at the Zone Institute. You saw we focus on human trafficking. I think that's a real problem. Next year we'll probably focus on maybe Alzheimer's, maybe childhood cancer. I think those in my mind are critical. But I'd like people to do what they think their community needs. God knows. In Charlotte, you need something different than we need in Atlanta. Lorraine, where do you live? You live somewhere near Greenville. I don't know the name of your community, but you need something different. And that's what you want to do for your community, whatever they need. So anyway.
Okay. Thank you for that, Robert. All right. Any questions about Rotary Has Heart? Is a pretty big thing coming up. All right. Brenda, are you on the phone yet? Brenda Shaw? All right. Let's talk about the Rotary Public Image Citation for a few minutes before we open it up for other discussions. Can you give me some feedback on how you're doing with the public image citation in your districts? Anybody?
This is, David Keith. Yeah, this is David Keith, District 7680. I in the beginning of the Rotary year this year, probably maybe August or so, I did send out the public image citation attachment that you had actually forwarded to me, and I put in a full description of what we're doing, and I wanted to get it out to all of the public relations directors of our clubs, and then also to the presidents, and I tried to send some to some of the secretaries if I could find all the email addresses. So I did send that out to everybody, and I have not received any applications back yet. Because you can turn it in early for some of the different items you can do. But now that this is the midpoint of the year, basically, I wanted to follow back up and kind of reach out to the same people in my district and see how they're doing.
I'm not surprised to hear you say that, David. Anybody else want to share your experience with the public image citation?
I can.
Okay.
This is Lorraine. I our meeting in November when we had our foundation event, we also had a PI seminar, and we talked about it there. I've had it in the newsletter probably 2 or 3 times now, and I've actually sent out a notice that if they turn it in, that I'll send them a gift package. I tried that, and I've got 1 taker so far. And it's just a hard thing that to try to get them to respond to it. And
Does anybody can you say why they're not responding, Lorraine or anybody else? Are the activities too difficult? Is it something new that they just don't understand, or do you have any feedback for me on that?
Well, I think
I've given
one of
go ahead.
I was just going to say that one of the requirements I know is to have your Rotary Day. So I'm not sure how many clubs have actually done that. And actually, you know, what we were just talking about before about Rotary at its heart, you know, maybe a number of clubs are planning to do their Rotary Day that day. So maybe that's what's delaying some of the application process. I know that's one of the things we need to do to achieve that.
So do you think that clubs are waiting until they complete all the activities to send you their public relations plan, for example?
I don't. I think part of it is just getting them to sit down and write a plan. I think a lot of clubs are, you know, do PI. They send in, you know, information to the newspapers. They send in stuff to the TV stations. They get stuff out. But I'm not sure how many people actually will sit down and write a plan. And that's just, you know, and I've given them, you've seen the documentation that I've given them, so I've pretty well told them how to do it. So I'm not sure really where to go from here. I don't know if they're not getting the information, because it's kind of hard to find out who they are. Because I know in our district I've been trying to find out who the public image chair is from each club, and then putting that into DAC-DB, so we have a committee set up and trying to communicate that way. And I've got about half the clubs now, and I'm just trying to figure out how do you go about, you know, communicating with these chairs, because, you know, they're not really responding to the newsletter. They're not responding, you know, they responded when I did a P-mail, like I said, about half of them, and the other half I didn't hear from. So I'm having a little bit of a struggle trying to get to them and figure out who they are. Okay. And then to come back and ask them to do the, you know, the citation. Most of them are very focused on just what they need to do for their club.
Mm-hmm. I think our spring events that are upcoming, and we have a lot of them, conferences, pets, assemblies, all kinds of things going on during the spring, where we can be in touch with these clubs, whether we go through the president or directly to the public relations chair, and just say, hey, remember the public image citation. You can be recognized for what you're doing in your club for just a little bit of time. I think the hardest one, or the one that is the most challenging for them, is to write a club public relations plan, and that's why it is a required activity, because our hope is that clubs will get accustomed to doing a plan, and it just has to be very simple. It does not have to be a long 40-page document. It can be 1 page, and they can lay out what they hope to accomplish in public relations. So I hope that as you're with your clubs over the next 6 months, that you will reiterate to them why the public image citation is important, and help them understand that it's not that complicated to meet all of the required and 2 additional activities that they have to do to earn the citation. Anybody else have feedback on that?
Well, let me say something. Number one, we tell clubs to use Rotary Club Central, like we tell clubs to develop a PR plan. And a club will only use Rotary Club Central as if there's a why in it for them. Not what they need to do, it's why they need to do it, I believe. And so you got to step back, in my opinion, and say, why should a club develop a public relations plan? It's not what you have to do. So it's not a mandate from us, but it's why is it good for them?
Mm-hmm.
And so we got to be able to say, I'll talk to Lorraine here, because she's really trying to do this, she said, is when you communicate with 50 clubs or whatever you have, why the hell should they do this? Secondly, you got to make it easy for them to do it. And if you tell me to develop a plan, I'm the worst person at sitting down and writing stuff. I hate sitting down and writing. If you know what the elements, 3, 4, 5, of a good public relations plan are, the 5 elements, maybe what we ought to do, and I might be wrong, but instead of being very broad and saying develop a plan, you might say, here are the elements of a good plan. 1, 2, 3, 4. Please fill in 1, whatever the element is, I don't know. Please fill in 2, whatever that, 3, and 4. And make it easy for them, because if you tell me to fill in a plan, I don't know where I'd start, tell you the truth, but you probably do.
We have that very outline published on the rpic33.org website.
Well, that's good. Then why don't they just drop in their plan? I don't know.
This is where you guys on this call can help us by letting the clubs know that the plan does not have to be complicated. They can just fill in the blanks, pick 3 activities basically, and say we're going to do this to promote this activity and this to promote that and this to promote that. That is a basic plan, and we've talked about this a lot. We had a whole session on it in Raleigh last year. It's just a matter of getting them to put 10 minutes worth of thought into what they're going to do. And it's new, so it's going to take a while.
And maybe what you do in Raleigh, Sue, is, or Lorraine or Chris, is to get them while you're in the meeting there, give them the piece of paper, and to the best of their knowledge, fill in the plan right there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I might be wrong. When I was district governor, I went to San Diego, and they said, you got to put in your membership goal. I said, oh, my God.
Yes, we've tried that, too, at some events.
Look, y'all are trying all the right things. I don't know what to do, but just make it really easy for these people. They got so much.
Well, you know the old saying, you can lead them to water, but you can't make them drink.
Exactly.
Well, let's just keep trying to lead them. That's all I'm asking of you guys. Keep plugging away. If you can get 5 clubs in your districts to earn the citation this year, we will have stepped way ahead of where we were at the beginning of the year. So set a goal for yourself on how many clubs you're going to work with, decide who they are, and go for it, and try to get a few clubs in your districts to accomplish it this year. When they see people getting awards, then maybe it will encourage others to do it next year.
Sure, that's right.
Okay, we do have a lot, like I said, a lot of conferences and assemblies, pets coming up in the spring. Are you involved in that in your districts? Are you involved in any of those activities, doing public image work? Anybody? So nobody on the call has been invited by their district to lead a session on public image at any event this spring?
I was. I'm Annette with in District 7670, but could not be there, so that made a problem.
Yeah, and in 7690, you know, Mike Shaw and I are kind of co-workers on this one, and so Mike could be doing something, and I'm just not aware of it.
David Keith at 7680. I am going to be presenting at our mid-year assembly coming up next month.
Okay.
For our district.
Okay. Annette, was that you saying something about 7670?
Yes, I was invited to make a presentation, but can't be there.
Do you know if they're going to get somebody to?
Billy Black's doing a yeoman's job, and I'm sure she'll find someone.
Okay. Okay. Well, if you can get on an agenda at any of these meetings, please do so. I'll be in several of your districts over the course of the next few months at Carolinas Pets, West Virginia Pets, Chesapeake Pets. I'll be at 7620 Conference, 7570 Pets, 7630 Conference and Assembly. So I have gotten several invitations, and I think Chris is going to be at least one. So we're going to work hard to get public image out in the districts. Now, this is the time. We've got about 10 minutes left. I want to hear from you on what some of your successes, your challenges have been since our last call about 2.5 or 3 months ago. Some of the things that you've been doing. Somebody who's hasn't spoken have something to tell us about what you've been up to. Andra, are you on the call? Okay.
I have a couple of things. This is Annette again.
All right, well, let's go to Andra first. She was muted there for a minute. Okay. Tell us some of the things you've been doing, Andra.
The biggest thing that I've done is I have pitched online business periodicals like SC Biz News and Low Country Biz and Midlands Biz with different Rotary initiatives, and they're very good about picking up those kinds of things.
I did write a blog entry about that in case you didn't see it.
Yeah, and so, but most of our districts have publications like that are online, and it's very easy to create a user account. It's largely user-driven, so you're not asking them to run it. If you're willing to go through putting up the account yourself, they print it for you and run it online for you and send it out in their newsletters. And some of our clubs in 7770 have actually copied that and are doing that at the club level as well now.
Okay, that's a good concrete example of something fairly easy to do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Somebody else was getting ready to speak.
Might have been me. I'm not sure. This is Annette again.
Okay, go ahead.
We have had 2 big events happen in our community and been able to tie either a meeting or, well, a meeting in both cases. One, we had a huge complex through the McDowell Technical Community College. They've had a big training center being designed, and when the grand opening came along, the governor was here. There was a lot of hullabaloo about it. We had our meeting there that day, and were very visible as a part of that. Then, right on the heels of that, we had a big announcement about an entertainment complex that's being planned and is coming to McDowell County, and we had that announcement made at our club meeting and received a lot of attention because of sort of parlaying both of those into a club meeting. So I think that was a successful way to keep Rotary in front of the community.
Okay.
That's a great idea.
Very good. Someone else.
Sue, give us credit. We had our district conference in the fall, and we had several sessions on communication.
Okay. That was CAP.
One thing that I don't hear much mention of when you're talking publicity is radio. And since I'm a radio person, I naturally think of it almost first. But almost all radio stations have public affairs programs. And if you'll get to know the producer of those public affairs programs, often it's not hard to get an interview, sometimes on a regular basis, reviewing what your club has done or the clubs in your district is doing, and get a lot of good
Can you give us the
publicity that way.
specifics of what we should do? Call the radio
your
station and
Call
ask?
the radio station, ask for the program director, or ask for the public affairs director, depending on the size of the station. But they'll know who to direct you to. And tell them that you have an event that you feel like is worthy of community publicity, and that you'd like ask if they have an interview program. If they do, say, well, I'm available. I would like to come and talk about it. And it may be 10 minutes. It could be 30. Mine is 30 minutes. I do a 30-minute interview every day of the week.
Really?
And so I know it's available. And I know a lot of small towns especially. I can't speak to the big towns, but the small towns do this a lot.
This would be an excellent way to promote your Rotary Day, your Rotary Has Heart Day, your January Rotary Awareness Day, February birthday, anything along those lines. So this is...
Since we have a month, something designated for almost every month, you could ask the program director, could I just come once a month and talk about Rotary? And chances are the answer is going to be yes.
Okay, I hope everybody heard that. That's a good word for all of us, including myself. And that was Annette speaking. All right. Who else?
This is David Keith again from 7680. This is actually an idea that our district governor, Ken Dresser, came up with. It actually was presented a little bit last year at the zone meeting about his vehicle graphics, his Sparky vehicle.
Yes.
He's got the Empoleon now, and it's prominent at every Rotary event. In fact, they actually had it this year. Our district for the first time participated in the Distinguished Clown Corps parade. We actually had Rotarians be in the parade, the big Thanksgiving Day parade in Charlotte, and it was on television. We got some great coverage. The Sparky, the Rotary vehicle, was out front, but Ken also really is pushing it at every club that he visits. He has it in his budget to allow clubs to. I don't think none of the clubs have signed up to do a full Sparky vehicle, but he has it in his budget for up to $200. He will split the cost for a custom Rotary window perforated vinyl that goes on the windows of your vehicle, where you can actually see out, but you can't really see in. But it's excellent for graphics, and it's all custom. Whatever you want to do. Some people I think we're on our fifth person from the district, fifth club, who have signed up for graphics, and some people want the big they want the Rotary wheel. Some people want Empoleon Now. Some people want Service Above Self. Some are club specific. We've done campers at the back of a camper of a pickup truck, where both the windows on the side and the full back, and then we've done a fancy actually it's a Hyundai Genesis, but it looks like a Mercedes, and it's just the back window, the very top half, so it's visible throughout wherever they go, and Ken has been funding it, splitting the cost, and if the people do less than a whole back window, usually the district pays 100% of it. So there's no money out of their pocket. It's just Rotary from our district governor as a gift, and it's part of his budget. And everyone who's done it has been very, very pleased.
Good. That's been a popular car.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else?
Hers, lightning.
Yes. Lightning. Billy has lightning. Mm-hmm. Okay. Lindsay, are you on the call still? Lindsay?
Yes, I'm still here.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but you're probably the youngest one on the call, and new to this conversation, you're in the Greenville Rotaract Club, is that correct?
Yes.
Would you like to speak from a younger person's point of view on some things we could be doing in the area of public image?
Well, I think the biggest thing is being present where your members are. And I think that having collaborative conversations like this is certainly of value so that we can all share ideas with each other. But ultimately, being a Rotaractor and working in collaboration with Rotarians over the last couple of years, we need to have a bigger, I think, digital presence as well. I love the idea of the car wrap. I think that's awesome. Even the idea of radio, I think that's great. But I don't know. I don't really have any concrete thoughts or ideas at this point,
Okay.
but I'm just glad to be a part of the call.
Well, Lindsay brings up a good point that we should all keep in mind. We have to be on the lookout for all kinds of ways to bring awareness to Rotary, whether it's radio, all kinds of social media, television, a car and a Christmas parade. All of those kinds of things are important, and not one is not more important than the other. We just have to have a broad range of tactics that we're using to tell people about Rotary.
So
Now,
I'd like to ask Lindsay a question. Lindsay.
Sure.
This is Wayne. I'm up in Richmond, Virginia, and we have a pretty active Facebook page, but is Facebook still the vehicle of choice for younger people? I think they're moving away from Facebook for some, aren't they? What's the best vehicle to communicate with younger people?
Well, ultimately, you're trying to get young professionals who are working professionals to become Rotarians, and the quickest growing demographic in any online platform is on LinkedIn. That is the professional place for individuals to show their credibility. But in addition to that, LinkedIn isn't just for companies, it's also a tremendous avenue for nonprofits as well. So people are able to combine their professional persona with their love for volunteering and supporting the community all through LinkedIn, whereas Facebook tends to be very personal for most, folks who are, I would say 35 and under.
Right. I had heard that. I thought that was the case. Thank you.
I haven't spoken to Lindsay about this, but I'm hoping that we can get her to maybe come to our Zone 33 seminar, or maybe we'll do a webinar with her on specifically about how we can use LinkedIn to grow our membership and bring awareness to Rotary that way. So I won't put you on the spot now, Lindsay, by asking you to do that, but I'll be in touch with you. Okay, our time is just about up, but does anybody else have anything else they want to bring to the table tonight?
Well, let me just say, if nobody's saying anything, I'd like, if any of you want to email me directly, my email is rhall@hohrecruiting.com, and you can find that, I'm sure, somewhere, but you can go to the Zone website. How can I help you do your job better? Because I maybe can get resources with Sue that will help you do your job better in each of your districts, because it happens at the districts and the clubs. It doesn't happen at the zone. Secondly, I would just say, what if I said, here's $10,000? What would you do with it? I'm not saying I could get $10,000, but I might be able to. What would you do? And maybe money is not the answer. Maybe Lindsay says LinkedIn's the answer. And I just wanted to try to find Lindsay on LinkedIn, but I don't know what her last name is or what city she's from, so I couldn't find it.
I'll help you find her.
You'll help me? Okay. So, maybe it's not money, but if it is money, what would help you do your job better? Can I help you do that? And is it money, or is it just off-the-wall, wild duck idea that will help you improve the image in your district and your Rotary Club? So I appreciate you being on this call. There's been 26 people. I see 5 pictures all night. I don't know the rest of y'all. So, Chris, I can see you and Lorraine and Brad and Wayne and Sue. But, hey, thank you for giving up your time tonight. That you won't get that back, and it costs money. So I appreciate it.
Well, Director Robert, we appreciate your joining the call.
I enjoyed it.
It's been very helpful to have you on board.
Yeah.
I want to reiterate an offer I made on our last call that I'm willing to set up a webinar for any of you who want to get a group of your club presidents or club public image chairs together for some online training. I did it twice. 2 districts invited me to do that after our last call. So we have 13 more that we can work on. If you want to just invite 5 or 6 people to join us on a call, or if you want to invite all of your club presidents and PI chairs together, I'll be glad to set it up. I'll be glad to lead it, or I'll just be happy to sit in the background and answer any questions that people have. So I just want to make that offer to you one more time. Well, anything else?
Yeah, so this is Brad. What will you teach on that online webinar?
Whatever you feel your district clubs could benefit most from.
Okay. Well, I may just talk with you online, but I do want to make sure that Lindsay and I know of the all the resources available on the RI website, because you and I've talked about that. But
I mean, we could do a whole webinar, our webinar on resources.
Well, that could be kind of cool for February if you are up to it.
Okay, we can talk about that.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else? Well, thank you all for giving up your time tonight. As Robert has already said, it seems we have had 2 morning calls and now this evening call, and we've had more people on the evening call than on either of the morning calls. So this may be the better time to try to schedule a meeting, but I have promised to rotate the time so that people can join us. Those who can't be on at night might have can be on during the day. So we will continue that rotation. And again, thank you very much, and don't hesitate to call me or email me or text me if I can help you. And I look forward to our next call, which will be in about 2 months' time. So good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.